Lila's hands trembled as she gripped the eviction notice, its stark black ink screaming lies. The Karen flowers, their delicate white petals swaying in her backyard, were her sanctuary, planted with her late mother's love. This garden was her home, her heart, her everything. But the so-called HOA Mark and Vanessa, the self-appointed neighborhood tyrants, stood before her, smug and unyielding. "You're out by Friday," Mark sneered, his voice dripping with false authority. Vanessa, arms crossed, smirked, her eyes glinting with malice. They claimed her garden violated their rules, that her property was theirs to control. Lila's chest tightened, fury and fear colliding like a storm. She'd moved to this quiet suburb to escape the city's chaos, to nurture her mother's legacy in peace. The Karen flowers, rare and fragrant, were her mother's pride, a symbol of resilience. Lila had tended them for years, their beauty a quiet rebellion against grief. But Mark and Vanessa, with their polished SUV and fake HOA letterhead, had been terrorizing the neighborhood for months, bullying residents with threats of fines and evictions. No one dared challenge them until now. "You don't own this land," Lila said, her voice steady despite her racing pulse. She'd spent nights poring over property records, uncovering the truth. The HOA was a sham. The land was hers, free and clear, inherited from her mother. Mark's face twisted, his confidence cracking. "You're bluffing," he spat, stepping closer. Vanessa laughed, shrill and mocking, but Lila saw the flicker of doubt in her eyes. The neighbors, drawn by the commotion, gathered at the edge of the garden, whispering. Lila held up the deed, her mother's signature a lifeline. "This proves it. You have no power here." The crowd murmured, emboldened. Mark's jaw clenched. Vanessa's smirk vanished. They'd built their reign on lies, extorting money and control from fearful residents. Now their facade was crumbling. "You'll regret this," Mark hissed, his voice low and venomous. He lunged for the deed, but Lila stepped back, the flowers brushing her legs like silent allies. The neighbors surged forward, their voices rising in support. For the first time, Lila felt the tide turning. The confrontation escalated as Mark shouted threats, his face red with rage. Vanessa, desperate to save face, accused Lila of forging the deed. The crowd's murmurs grew louder, some siding with Lila, others unsure. The air crackled with tension, the Karen flowers standing witness to the clash of truth and deception. Lila's heart pounded to expose their fraud. But at what cost? Mark's threats weren't empty. He'd ruined lives before. Yet she stood her ground, her mother's courage blooming within her. Days later, the truth unraveled further. The police arrived, armed with evidence of the fake HOA scams. Mark and Vanessa were arrested, their empire of lies exposed. But victory was bittersweet. The neighborhood, once united by fear, now fractured over who'd enabled the duo's reign. Lila's garden survived, but her trust in community didn't. The Karen flowers, once a symbol of hope, now felt like a reminder of betrayal. She sat among them, alone, wondering if truth was worth the cost. What would you have done in Lila's place? Stand and fight or walk away? How do you balance justice with the pain it brings to a community?